If you work in IT operations and you're responsible for doing license audits for different applications in the organization, or perhaps you work as an admin of an application, this video is for you, and it's going to completely change the way that you carry out license audits.
Automating application license audits.
You may have been in a situation like the one I'm about to describe. It's end of day on a Wednesday, and you think that you're wrapping things up, but then you get a message from your boss.
Hey, Whiskers!
No.
Quick one before end of day. The renewal for a sauna is Friday.
Please, no.
Apparently we're 200 licenses over.
Sorry. 200 over, as in we have 200 inactive users still provisioned?
200 over, as in finance has started using phrases like unnecessary recurring amphibious expenditure.
And how many are we allowed?
600.
We're at 800?
802, but one of them is the intern's test account, so realistically 801.
And renewal is when?
Friday.
This happens all the time. There's a renewal coming up in a couple of days and you need to get the license count down. What a lot of people end up doing here is taking the manual route, going into the application, exporting a CSV of all the users. Hopefully it contains their most recent activity logs. You go to your IDP or your HR tool and you export an active users list, and then you load both of those into a spreadsheet. You try to determine if there are any users with an account who should already have been deprovisioned. Those are easy. You can just go ahead and deactivate those. For everybody else, you would typically look at the user's last activity within the target application, and then you kind of filter by last active day. So anybody who hasn't been active for, let's say, 90 days. You reach out to those people. Then there's a little bit of back and forth between you and the users, trying to figure out who still needs access. There's justifications provided. Managers might get involved. So this can be a very lengthy process and quite time consuming. And if you only have 2 days, like in this example case, it's going to be a lot of work to fit in that 2-day period. So there is another way. I never do this manually anymore. I fully automate it. How do I do it? I use Airtable. So here's how it works. Airtable can seamlessly integrate with any application in your stack. So Airtable pulls in your user lists of your different applications, and then ahead of your renewal, you go in and tell Airtable that you want to start an audit. So you specify the scope. So let's say you want to reach out to everybody who hasn't used it within the last 3 months. No problem. Then Airtable automates a message to each user. That could be an email. It could be a Slack message. Any messaging platform that you want to use, it can do it. So each one of those messages contains a form, and the form essentially just says, hey, do you need continued access to this application? Yes or no? If yes, please specify your justification for continued use. And this is the cool part, right? So they tell you why, they submit the form, and then for each of those applications, you've given Airtable a list of valid justifications for continued use. And then Airtable uses this native AI functionality to make the determination if their justification is acceptable. If yes, then the system automatically indicates that they can keep the license. It reaches out to them and says, hey, thank you for submitting your justification. You can continue to have access, no problem. But in the event that the AI analysis deems that their justification is not sufficient or not enough information was submitted, it'll flag it for further review by the admin of this system. And then you as the admin can trigger additional automated follow-up messages to seek further clarification, or you could just provision Airtable. Let's be honest, everybody knows that Airtable can do everything that Asana can do and more. Or just flat out deny the request and then trigger an automated message to them that says, we've decided based on the information provided that you no longer need access. Your deactivation is scheduled for Friday or whenever. And if we were to do all of that manually, it would take hours, right? So many back and forth emails and messages, updating things on spreadsheets, reaching out to management. We don't want to have to go through that anymore. If you're on an IT team and you've done something like this before manually and everything I just said resonates with you, definitely reach out to Optimize IS. Optimize IS will help you build a system like what I just described, or a host of other similar systems. They can automate and streamline all your business processes. The automation that I just described is just like one. There's so much low-hanging fruit out there when it comes to automation in Airtable. If you have an application and that application has an API, there's unlimited possibilities for automation. Optimize IS can help you realize all those possibilities in your organization, freeing up your time, your people's time, so that you can do more creative, fulfilling tasks in your day-to-day. I started doing this for my application audits a few years back, and it changed everything for me. Airtable handles all the messaging, it collects all the responses, it automatically deactivates users using the APIs. So that's how IT teams can stop doing their license audits manually. This is Chris with Optimize IS. See you next time.